Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Film Box Podcast. Have you ever wanted to listen to a couple guys in their 20s go in-depth on your favorite movie, spanning from before they were born all the way to the modern day? And do you want to know once and for all which movie in a given genre going back the last 40-plus years reigns supreme? Well, on this podcast, we review we review films from each decade within a certain genre and then compare them in a bracket-style challenge to see which film comes out on top and is declared champion. This episode's already starting on a great run. My name's Aaron Souza. I'm your host, and with me are two dudes who would absolutely ruin Christmas for their kids by telling them Santa's not real in the name of psychology. It's Connor Jameson and Sam Majewski.
You could not have landed that plane worse.
Hey,
it's upside down in the Allegheny.
I went and landed it. I was expecting I would mess up that little bit there
everyone's
at the end.
Dead on the plane. But the plane is back on the ground.
Dude, I don't know what that was. We are starting off hot, but there's no edits to this thing. We do not edit this show.
Nope.
Oh, boy. Well, it's been approximately 2 days since we recorded the last episode. And now we're back. Yep.
Maybe that's why you can't talk. Your brain hasn't recharged yet.
Yeah, I didn't go into cryostasis and come back out on the other side refreshed and ready to go. My body's rejecting the new host.
The host.
Oh, man. So, how you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty chipper.
Wow, the energy is hot today.
I mean, we started hot.
We did start hot. Yeah, so we are at the beginning of a new episode, and that means that we got to find out what episode we're reviewing today.
Jesus Christ.
It sounds like you're just doing fillers at this point. Can we just get on with the episode? Jesus. 2.5 minutes of just Aaron rambling on nonsense.
I'm just spewing everything that comes into my mind this morning. This morning, it's fucking nighttime. I'm sorry.
Okay, Connor, maybe you want to take over this episode?
I want to see where he keeps going. Like, the plane is somehow underground now. Everyone died a second time.
Oh, we watched the Santa Claus, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk about it here in a minute here. Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, before we get into the production notes and the usual stuff that we normally do on this episode, I can see you still laughing over there.
I'm sorry.
Oh, we got to get our initial thoughts. Connor, why don't you kick us off with your initial thoughts on this movie?
It's very fitting that we have a little batshit crazy intro, because I think this movie is fucking crazy. This was a movie that my elementary school, middle school, they would always put this on like right before winter break. That or Elf.
Stereotypically, yes.
Exactly. And I hadn't seen it in a while until I saw it on Thanksgiving. And everything with this movie is just wild. Like, it's a wild plot for a kid's movie, and I love it.
Yeah, I'm happy to hear it.
Yeah, there's just so much craziness, so many decisions being made. It's wild.
Very nice. Sam, what about you? What are your thoughts on this movie?
Yeah, it's been a while since I've saw this one. Since I've seen this one.
Since your eye holes have taken in.
So I watched
film.
it, I think 2 days ago, and that was the first time in a while. But I think the last one I did see was the third one a couple of years ago.
Oh God!
Let's just say that it gets worse as the movies come out.
Well, all right, fair. Yes,
I disagree. I love the second one.
The
second one's not bad.
Okay,
but...
so this movie is like a classic for me. I love this movie. I didn't like most Christmas movies for a while, like, and then all of a sudden I watched this and it's just like that was it. Like, I love it. It's a fun watch. It's not over the top like certain other Fred Clauses that we've seen. And it's just fun. Like, it's about Santa and Christmas while also simultaneously not being about Santa and Christmas, and it's great. So yeah, it goes way, me and this movie go way back.
Nice. It's really just about the trials and tribulations of a divorced man. Just
pretty much.
In shitty animation.
And well, yes. I do have to say though, the second one, I actually wanted to bring this up, so it's a good thing we're talking about this movie now on this episode, about this movie. So I always like melded both 1 and 2, Santa Claus 1 and 2 together to be like one big movie. But like, it's funny that you mentioned that the third one is so bad because, and I'll get to it in a second, but like 1 and 2 feel like one complete movie, and then 3 just feels like the ugly stepchild that they left out and forgot about and then brought back in and was like, oh yeah, this one's here too. Like, I don't know why. And you said it too, like you liked number 2 more. They just feel so much different than number 3. So
I just remember the football scene in the snow, and growing up, I thought that was the coolest thing ever. Like,
yeah. Yep.
That's what I wanted. I just wanted to fucking pummel some kids, like little kids in football.
Nice. Well, before we get into the reviews, we got to talk about the production notes. So, this movie was released November 11th, 1994. So almost 30 years ago, ladies and gentlemen, which crazy. First off, that 1994 is almost 30 years ago, but I knew this was a 90s movie. I thought it was like 1999, like just barely in the 90s. Nope, 94. It's way out there.
Mm-hmm. Older than all of us.
What's that?
Older than all of us.
It is older than all of us. With a runtime of 1 hour, 37 minutes, which is the exact runtime of last week's movie too. So we're staying on a theme. This movie was directed by a man by the name of John Pasquin, who directed nothing else. Let's just say that. He directed, I think the most famous movie he directed after Santa Claus was Miss Congeniality 2.
There's a sequel?
Yep.
Oh.
Exactly. But let's talk about its producers. And I'm also going to get to one other little fun tidbit here in a second. Actually, a couple. So this movie was produced by Bobby Newmyer, who was famous for producing Sex, Lies, and Videotape, and also Training Day, the Denzel Washington movie. Brian Riley, whose only other... I mean, he did a few movies, but like the director, his only other good credit was a movie called Born to Be Wild. And I chose this movie specifically because it has a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's nice.
That movie, Born to Be Wild, was produced by Brian Riley and another one of this movie's producers, Jeffrey Silver, and directed by John Pasquin. So they worked together on some pretty standout films. But unlike the other guys, Jeffrey Silver, one of the last producer, also produced 300, Terminator Salvation, Training Day, Edge of Tomorrow, The Lion King from 2019, and Beauty and the Beast 2017. So he had some pretty good ones. And then we've been written by...
We've been
written by... Sorry, my mind just spaced for a sec. This movie was written by the dynamic duo of Leo Benvenuti and Steve Rudnick, who only did a few movies together, but they only did movies together. Like, these guys wrote 5 movies, and they were together. They also, can you guess? Give me just a guess of what movie these guys wrote.
Give me a year.
It's another 90s movie.
I don't know, man.
So
Ghostbusters.
these guys, what'd you say?
It's a Ghostbuster. I don't even know if that's... Did that come in on... Oh, it's 84. Jeez, never mind.
Nice. So I will say these guys also wrote Santa Claus 2.
Okay, I
So-
should have guessed that.
Yes, but the movie that I'm talking about that these guys also wrote is Space Jam. So the writers of Santa Claus and Santa Claus 2, but not Santa Claus 3,
probably why it was so
also
bad.
wrote Space Jam. So, and I think also, like I was saying before, the reason that I felt like this movie and Santa Claus 2 were like one movie is probably a lot because they were written very similarly by the same two people. And then number 3, they just had fucking new people come in and just ruin the whole thing
When did the
with
sequels
Jack
come
Frost. That's a great question.
out? Santa Claus 2 was 2002.
Really? It was almost 10 years? And Santa
jeez.
Claus 3 was 2006.
Oh, jeez. Don't say it like that. I thought... In my head, I was like, oh, 94, 02? Close. No.
Almost 10 years later.
Yeah. Something like that.
Wow. Okay, well, this movie had an estimated budget of $22 million, and you know it's time to guess what this movie made. And I see you laughing over there. You got something going.
I'm just reading some of the reviews on Letterboxd, and they're really funny. I'll share
well.
when we get to that part.
Can you give me a guess on what this movie grossed worldwide?
What was his budget?
$22 million. As if that's going to help you in any way.
22. I'm going to guess 200 million.
150.
144.8. Connor, again, almost on the dot.
He cheated.
I did
All
not
right.
shoot this time.
Well, wow. Well, Sam, are you ready to bring us through some reviews?
I am.
Let's do it.
So, Rotten Tomatoes seem to like this movie.
Seem to.
Seem to. Yeah, I mean,
I love how you say that. They seem to like this movie.
Yeah, they give it a hard score.
they got a hard score of 3%. No, I'm just kidding.
You okay?
Just spit out. I just almost spit my water out. I don't know why. That was so funny to me. I was taking a drink. Yeah, they give it a hard score.
Anyways,
Wow.
the critics of the tomato meter gave this movie a 73%. With
A hard 73.
A hard 73, and the audience score gave it a 65%, which is a difference of 8%.
Not bad. Not bad.
I have a couple. Well, I have a couple reviews. One good, one not so good. The positive review has a 4 out of 5 stars, and it states the animation may not hold up, but the Santa Claus is a spirit-filled treat that's equal parts funny and warming.
The animation may not hold up.
Yeah.
May? I mean, did you
no
see the
Avatar.
movie?
It's no Avatar.
This is barely even Star Wars Episode 2.
Jeez, and then the not so.
Sam knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I've seen the Star Wars movies.
You've seen him like once.
Yeah, that's all I need to see to know what
Right.
you're talking about. Bitch.
Oh, wow. Damn. All right, let's get to the negative.
Yeah,
Come on,
negative
you're wasting
review.
our time here.
Oh, me? I'm trying to do the podcast, and you guys just rambling on, and you're choking on water, and
I'm instigating.
all right. So the negative review, 2 out of 5, says having watched a few different Xmas classics over the Christmas period, this is one I was really looking forward to, but disappointed the most. I thought it was funnier and slicker in my memory, but you could tell this was made for a TV movie watching it.
Did not get that.
I think it's kind of fair. But I think maybe it's just because I've seen this so many times on like Freeform, where it is like
Yeah.
cut with commercials. So it's just in my head. It's always kind of naturally been there. like
Okay,
that.
I guess that's a fair. Yeah, I can see what they mean by that.
Yeah. Those are the reviews. So again, 73% on Tomato Meter and 65 on audience. And then I'll go over a couple trivia notes. Did you guys know that this was the first lead film role for Tim Allen?
I did
Really, it was the first one.
First lead film role. Film role.
Wow, I would have never guessed.
And he actually, did you know he had a criminal record? Actually,
I did know. He was
And,
Perfect person to play Santa Claus.
wasn't he arrested for like trafficking cocaine?
well, I mean, he killed Santa Claus, so I mean,
Well, that's fair.
Yeah,
And
He
up
does
on the
like white.
record.
He does like white stuff.
and, like Disney had a strict like no hiring of like
Bingo. Sorry.
of like strict of no hiring ex-cons policy, but somehow this was an exception. Because
See, I could understand it. I could understand it if it was like now Tim Allen, where he's famous, but like this is it was
Yeah.
his first film role. Like it's just like this guy.
Yeah, it's fine.
well, the role of Scott Calvin actually was written for Bill Murray in mind.
Oh God,
I can
no,
see
that would
this.
have been so bad though.
But after reading the script, Murray actually declined it, and he actually didn't think he was suited for that humor and stuff.
'Cause he
yeah,
was, like,
he
coming
would
off
not. I don't
Scrooge,
think he
too.
would have been good.
Yeah.
So I mean, probably just Christmased out.
Yeah, so
Connor, did you want to talk about some of these Letterboxd reviews that you saw?
Yeah, these are the recent ones too, which I love people. So first one by Daniela, 3.5 stars. They literally murder Santa. That's it.
Nice.
That's what I love about Letterboxd reviews. People just one sentence is all you need.
Yep.
And last one, Charles, 3 stars. The best part of this movie is when Charlie says he wants to go into the family business, implying his intent to kill his father and take his job.
I didn't even realize that. Oh, that's amazing. All right. Well, before we get into the meat and potatoes of this podcast, which I guess is a thing I'm saying now since I said it last episode, we got to watch the trailer. Are you guys ready to watch the trailer?
I am.
All right. Let's do it. 3, 2, 1, play.
It was the night before Christmas, and children were dreaming of the presents Santa would bring.
Somebody's on the roof.
But this Christmas Eve,
Hey, you!
the unthinkable happened.
You killed him.
Did not.
Now, this night,
If something should happen to me, put on my suit. The reindeer will know what to do.
it's up to them
Let's go!
to save the day. Together, Scott Kelvin and his son Charlie take on the biggest job in the world.
Looking good, Dad.
And though it has its dangers,
Nice teeth.
he thought it was just for one night.
You're the new Santa.
I am not Santa Claus.
Ah. You put on the suit, you're the big guy.
What if I don't buy into this Santa Claus thing?
Then there would be millions of disappointed children around the world.
He doesn't want the job,
It was a dream.
but it's growing on him.
I've gained 45 pounds in a week.
Now he's getting into the spirit
There are a lot of kids that believe in you. I want some ballet slippers.
and getting ready for the biggest night of his life.
How could I have done this without you, Charlie?
You couldn't.
Walt Disney presents a timeless tale that will warm your heart,
I love you, Santa Claus.
I love you, son.
lift your spirits, and make you believe.
You really are Santa Claus.
Pretty cool, huh?
Share the merriment and the magic.
Seeing isn't believing. Believing is seeing.
Tim Allen,
Santa?
the Santa Claus.
Wow, I did not realize you could get a more spoilery trailer. Jesus.
I mean, what do you expect? It's a trailer.
I mean, but that literally, it was like, okay, so he kills Santa. Now he's becoming Santa. And here's the end where he is Santa. It just showed the whole movie.
But we don't get the probably the best thing for a kid to watch, and that's the custody battles that ensue, and
yeah, always a favorite of
divorced
mine.
parents. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna say.
All right, well, are you ready to bring us through this movie, Connor?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's do it.
And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Come on, everybody. Here we go. It's 106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Hello, boys! I'm back!
All right. So this movie begins at a company holiday party where we meet Scott Calvin, who's Tim Allen. He is a divorced toy salesman, and they're celebrating a very successful year thanks to the doll that he and another one of his... oh my god, what are those glasses? Oh no, I made the mistake of looking up. Good lord.
Wow. That really got you.
Yeah. You look like Benjamin Franklin.
Yes, sir.
You doofus.
Okay, keep going, you doofus.
Can't steal my burn. So he leaves.
I just did.
No, you didn't. He leaves the holiday party, and he's going home to meet up with his ex-wife Laura, his son Charlie, and her new husband / boyfriend / whatever, Neil. They're dropping off Charlie to spend Christmas with Scott. In passing, while they're getting Charlie all situated, Scott finds out that Neil told Charlie Santa doesn't exist, which made him very upset, which makes them both actually upset. Charlie and Scott, they're spending Christmas Eve together. Scott burns the Christmas dinner comically badly, so they end up going to Denny's, kind of cementing that this is not a good night or a good Christmas. They go home. Scott reads Charlie a Christmas story to get him to go to bed, but they get woken up when they hear some noise on the roof. So Scott goes outside to see who else? Santa Claus, who promptly gets spooked and falls off the roof and dies.
Womp womp.
Womp 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 womp.
So I'm not gonna lie, I really like this intro. Like the intro of the Christmas party, the like company party, it just feels like very real. Like it's like, oh, this is a Christmas movie, but this is also just a movie. It's not, over the top. It's not like Fred Claus. Or even like National Lampoon had the animated intro. Like this, I like this.
Yeah, I mean, it feels real. It's very much, this is a guy living out his life, and we all have, at work, we all have like company parties for the holidays. I actually have one coming up.
I have one tomorrow, as of recording this.
Very nice. Don't kill Santa.
Yeah, I'll try.
I will try not to as well.
All right.
But yeah, no, I like kind of seeing that it's more of like a realistic approach, because then he's late to get home, meet his son, and like Charlie just fucking wants to go home. He's like, please just get me early.
Yeah, and already in this section, like we have and I'm gonna ding it, what might be my favorite line in this movie is when Charlie's talking to Scott about Neil. And he's like, oh, Neil this, Neil that, and Scott goes, well, Neil's head comes to a point. It's just like, damn.
Yeah,
that's like a creative burn.
Neil gets fucking roasted all the time.
It's awesome.
Shout out our boy Judge.
I don't know about you. Does and I want to ask you this: does Charlie reminds me of Danny Torrance from The Shining?
Like appearance wise, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he looks just like him.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. If he had gotten like a little toy bicycle or tricycle,
he was just riding around.
I would have been sold. This would have been
I
a
don't know
perfect
if
5 out of 5.
Well,
spoiler, it's not for me. So I wanted to bring this up. Are people in movies just dumb, or are turkeys just super flammable? Because I have, besides like trying to deep fry a turkey, I have never seen them just combust like that. Except in TV.
It's because he cooked it in an oven. No, like normally, like they make turkey roasters for a reason.
True. And
that's what you use. Just put it in a turkey roaster, let it go, and you're fine. It's not hard. But every movie dad sucks at cooking, so you know. I do like the fake out though that it's like, oh, he's looking at the recipe book, and then all of a sudden it cuts to like, oh, this really beautiful dinner, you know, whatever, and then it's like, oh, that's actually the TV, and we pan to his dinner, and everything's burnt, and he's extinguishing a turkey. It's like Jesus.
Charlie's all pissed at him.
Yeah, he's just looking at him like, really? This is what I have to deal with? And then they go to Denny's, of all places.
It was open.
Which is always open, yep. And they would never, ever get away with the Denny's Asians if they made that movie today. Like, someone would be upset.
Just businessmen conducting business at Denny's.
It's just so bad.
Yeah. Also, that Denny's won't fly just being out of everything. Like, come on, Judy.
Yeah.
You gotta have something besides coffee.
Chocolate milk. We're out of... just put syrup in milk, you idiot.
Yeah.
They ran out of the syrup.
They ran out of milk.
Go get more. God.
So then...
How do you run out of eggnog on Christmas? How do you run out of eggnog on Christmas?
The morning staff drank it all.
God.
I don't know, man.
Brutal.
I would imagine
anyways,
you're not expecting a huge crowd at night on Christmas Eve.
No.
Besides all the dumb dads who are burning turkeys, I guess.
Yeah. Apparently
which there
it
were
happens a lot, according to this movie.
Yeah.
I do like how he said like Charlie was like, oh, Dad burned the turkey, and she's like, oh, come with me, and sat with all the other dads that burned the turkeys.
I did like that.
The stereotypical Asian family. Asian group.
Yeah. I want to point this out now. Like I was saying before, like this movie is just kind of really wild. I love that the plot for a children's Christmas movie is Dad just killed Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Which, first off, when they first hear the noise, why would they not call 911 right then and there?
Yeah, right.
Because if that was actually someone, you know, Dad goes out to investigate, he's probably getting knocked out, and now Charlie's just like, "There's a Santa," boom, tire into the head. And everything's gone.
Yeah. Also, like, I know it. So when he kills Santa, they're looking at his body. He's inspecting the body. He pulls out that card. Did you realize? I never noticed this until I watched this. The fine print on the card that says the Santa Claus is there on that first showing of the card. Like it looks like it's just like the red line around it, but if you look close, it is actually there before they zoom in on the one of the upcoming scenes, which I appreciated that. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, definitely like that kind of continuity, because they could have just printed out.
No one would have noticed. Not a single person would have noticed, especially in 1994 with the video quality that they had back then. Not a single person in standard definition would have noticed.
Exactly.
I barely noticed watching in high def.
I also just like that they were cool just leaving that body there before it just evaporated. They're just like, oh, let's just go up to the roof and see what's up and leave this corpse on my front yard. Lovely.
All right, let's keep it rolling.
Yep. So now that Santa's dead, Scott and Charlie discover the reindeer on top of the roof, and they go up into the sleigh. But Scott took Santa's suit, so he's putting it on, and that is what makes him able to go to the next house and deliver presents. Scott doesn't really believe anything is real at this point. He doesn't know if he's hallucinating or just has head trauma, but they end up delivering the rest of the presents. So instead of going home, the reindeer take Scott and Charlie to the North Pole, where we are introduced to another one of our boys, Bernard. David Krumholtz.
Good. David Krumholtz.
David Krumholtz.
Is this our second movie with David Krumholtz?
Yep.
Yes.
We did with 10 Things, right?
10 Things was it, I believe.
Yeah, 10 Things, and then this movie, and then also our second movie with Judge Reinhold. So,
families coming together.
Oh yeah. The Film Box family.
Everyone's getting a Christmas card this year. So,
Jesus Christ.
We meet Bernard, who's the head elf, as well as all the rest of the elves who are children. Bernard goes over to the Santa Claus, which you were talking about, which was on the business card that Santa Claus had, which states that by putting on the suit, Scott is the new Santa. There's another elf, Judy, who is just like an assistant, I guess. She gives him like a little tour. I did not edit these notes right. Whoops.
Nice.
So
unedited. This podcast is unedited.
That's what happens when I don't write my own notes for once.
So you blame me.
Judy, she's like giving them a tour, kind of giving Scott the lay of the land there, what to expect. So Scott, Charlie, they go to sleep, but they wake up back at home. Scott was thinking everything was a dream, except he's wearing the pajamas that he was gifted at the North Pole with the initials SC on them. Laura and Neil arrive to pick up Charlie, who is fucking pumped, because he does not believe that everything was a dream.
Yeah, he's like, yeah!
And, Laura and Neil, they're like, all right, bud. And they take him away.
Dude, that must be every kid's dream, honestly. It's like, my dad's Santa. He brings me presents. Yeah. It's like every 5-year-old's just absolute dream. So,
yeah. I mean, if my dad could have killed Santa, I would have been pumped.
God, that's so bad.
Hey man, it's good enough for a kids' movie. It's good enough for my life.
If my father committed an act of murder, I'd be excited. God.
Charlie was pumped.
Dude, he was. He could not have been more excited.
As soon after Santa falls and is on the ground, Charlie just comes out. It's like, yeah, you got him. Like he was big game hunting.
You got him.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, you smoked that fucker.
Oh, man. What is that? A 10-pointer? We're putting that on the wall.
Illegal game.
Oh,
literally.
My God. Yeah. Yep. I just love how he's like, there's no way I'm delivering presents, and then by the end of it, he's like, I must be dying. It's like, there's no way this is real. And well, Scott, yes, it is. We've touched on it already. The CGI.
I was gonna say
putting in work.
This is where you really notice that the effects are. They did not age well. They aged like milk left out for Santa.
Yeah, I couldn't get behind this.
I was
effects.
able to put it past it. Like, look, this movie was made in '94. It's not going to be great.
I mean, you can
Star
still
Wars
see
had
that,
better.
and then
They came out in the 77.
yeah, you can think that, and then be like, all right, this looks ridiculous.
I mean,
When
they
he is
did
going. No, you can go.
I was gonna say, I mean, they did have a $22 million budget, so.
Yeah.
Who knows how much CGI cost?
But
back then.
yeah,
Use that money to time travel.
Did you guys also notice how totally unfazed all the elves are by the new Santa Claus?
Yes, I was going to point this out too. Was that Santa Claus just a dick or something? Because
Like, they literally, he got back and they're like, "Oh, hey, Santa, what's up?" And he was like, "What is going on?" He's like, "You're Santa." Well, how many times has this happened before?
you
that's
must
the
have
thing.
killed Santa. So
yeah, that's
now
the
you're
thing.
Santa.
I feel like what I got out of it is that this must happen a lot. Like, you know, the elves are thousands of years old. So I think they're just so used to, like, having a new Santa every, 100 or so years because...
Shit happens.
Yeah.
Because Santa dies.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
the opposite of Fred Claus, where Santa and his family live forever and are basically gods. This one is like, the elves live for thousands of years, but Santa, he's fucking dead in a year.
No, I was gonna say maybe Santa falls off the roof, he gets shot by a shotgun, or
Gets hit by a truck or something.
gets hit by a truck, run over by a
Gets
train.
sucked into a jet engine turbine. Like, it's all the normal stuff.
Yeah, I think he is eternal unless something happens to him.
Yeah, that's why. That's what I got out of it. Is I think the elves see it so often. That,
Santa's a klutzy fucker.
Pretty much.
It's like they have a Deadpool up on like one of the back walls. It's like, all right, I need Santa to die this year. I am banking on a Rottweiler just tearing his throat out.
They're just looking at it like, all right, who had falling off a roof? Oh, that was Cindy? Oh, damn it.
Cindy and Logistics is pumped.
It's like, yes!
Now coming.
Thousands of years for this.
Now coming, holiday season of 2023. Ryan Reynolds as Saint Nicholas.
I mean, they did have the
God.
Christmas special. I wonder if that was something like it.
What?
The Deadpool Christmas special.
Oh, yeah.
Never saw it, but...
They were, and then we get one of the best parts of this movie, which is Bernard, who is tactfully underutilized in this film.
Yeah. But
he's great.
When Scott just can't figure out his name, that was so funny to me as a kid. To the point where, like, me and my sister, anytime we refer to this movie, he's not Bernard, he is Barnaby.
Barnaby.
Because I thought that was the funniest name ever.
It's so good. Just Tim Allen's whole brand of, like, quick wit, sarcastic quick wit is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I also like even though the CGI in this movie was bad, they didn't really rely on it like much in this movie.
Yeah,
like
it's just when he's
for
being
the
Santa Claus.
reindeer scenes, all the scenes with like them flying, yeah, sure. But like unlike what we saw in Fred Claus, all the elves are child actors. So it's believable there. It just felt all really grounded, you know, all the effects on Scott as he turns into Santa are practical effects. Like they didn't really rely on CGI at all. I thought that was great.
Except for
something I didn't like.
Except for Ludacris.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say except for Ludacris Elf.
Well,
still-
that's just nightmare fuel.
Yeah. Forget
He
the
shows
hat,
up in
man.
my dreams.
That's... Yeah, you take one too many Benadryl and... Elf Luda.
You're dreaming of Ludacris
He's in the
as an
wall.
elf.
That's where the $22 million went. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
They were ahead of the time.
Something I didn't like here about this movie is that they implied that Scott was flirting with a child.
I also had that in my notes.
Yep.
Yeah, he flirts with Judy. He's like, "Oh, you look very well for your age," as if
I
she's
don't think
not
he was
10.
actually. I don't think he was actually flirting, because his reaction to like her saying, "No, I'm seeing a guy in accounting," and he's just like, he just has that look like of disgust. But like the fact that they even wrote that into the movie so that Tim Allen has to say that to a 10-year-old makes me want to cry.
Yeah. 90s were fucking wild, I guess.
Yeah, apparently.
One thing
Although she kind of sucks. She took 1,200 years to get hot cocoa, right? So
it's not that hard.
One thing I wasn't a huge fan was of how the North Pole kind of looked.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, it's under. I didn't like how it was like underground and stuff like that. Like when
it's like a secret base.
Yeah, when the North Pole came up from the ground,
the pole.
I thought it was going to be like opened up, whatever, or it would be like revealed, like how Wakanda is, like a invisible.
They just
like,
look over a ridge, like there it is.
Yeah, pretty much.
They must have never, like, most of those elves probably haven't seen like sunlight in a while, if ever.
All right, let's keep it moving.
So, at a career day at Charlie's school, Scott shows up and Charlie is so emphatic, telling everyone. See, I used emphatic right this time. Emphatic.
We're getting better.
Yes. Is very emphatic, telling everyone that his dad, Scott, is actually Santa Claus, which gets him in trouble with the school administration. Scott is trying to tell Charlie to forget what happened on Christmas. Like, it didn't happen, but Charlie is obsessed with it. Laura finds him, like, just geeking out on Christmas, and freaks her out. It freaks her out a bit. So her and Neil try to convince him to forget about what he thought happened, and kind of impose their logic on Santa not being real. It doesn't really work, so Neil and Laura tell Scott that Charlie can't keep thinking like this if he wants to still be able to see Charlie. So Scott tells Charlie to keep that experience a secret just between them, which works. Gets Charlie to shut up about it. But as the year progresses, because this does take place over a year, Scott starts to physically change to more resemble Santa as we know him. So he's starting to gain weight. His hair is graying and whiting out. But he still has his job at
whiting out.
Yeah.
It sounds like something you do at a party.
No, that's something you do with drugs. You either black out, green out, or white out.
I mean, Tim Allen. Well, apparently Tim Allen does white out, so.
Hey,
gotcha.
hey. Don't do it. Just get up a dumps.
I got one even better.
You need to leave.
You need to leave.
Actually, that was a good use of that. Congrats, Aaron.
Yeah. Ding.
But even though he is Santa and becoming Santa, he still has his job at the toy company. So he goes to a board meeting, fat and late, which everyone likes to point out.
Whoa, jeez.
The way that he arrives to a board meeting fat and late. Just Jesus Christ.
Am I wrong?
No. Continue.
Oh, he was looking a little overweight, and he arrived a little late. No, he showed up fat and late. God. Moving on.
Yeah, so he's fat and late. And he kind of freaks out when they're displaying like a new toy with Santa being in a tank. So he's starting to commit more and more to actually being Santa here.
Yeah. Laura and Neil might be the worst parents ever. Like, their kid's like 5, and they're like, how could you even comprehend that Santa Claus is real? You are just the dumbest child.
Yeah.
So this is one of my biggest problems with the movie. I think it's a kind of a major plot hole. So in this world, there is a Santa who delivers presents. How, as a parent, do you see presents show up under your tree that you did not buy? You have no idea how they got there, and you're like, "No, there's no Santa."
I think that's an argument to be made for lots of Christmas movies as a whole, because a lot of them deal with that whole like kids believe, parents don't believe thing. And honestly, I've struggled with it for a long time too, because I have had that same opinion. It's like, how do the parents not know? Like, there's just presents that they didn't buy under the tree when they wake up.
Yeah, is it
how do they? But at one point, you just got to suspend the disbelief and just say, you know what, I'm here for the ride. This is a story that they're telling.
If the whole thing about like believing in Santa wasn't like the main plot of this movie, would not care at all. It's like one of those things like with Fred Claus, like, okay, Fred and the rest of his family can age or live forever.
Yeah.
But because this is like so prevalent to the plot, maybe you should have thought of something to explain that.
Yeah. I've wrestled with that so long for so many movies that I've just been like, you know what? It's like the same thing with Elf. Like the whole, like, people are stopping, they're not believing anymore, so now my magic doesn't work. But, like, presents still show up under your tree that you didn't buy. You know, I just got to a point where I was like, you know what? This is the movie. I'm not going to think about it logically. They're making a movie about Santa Claus.
Yeah. I will not think like that. I give no movie the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. Neil's sweaters, also amazing.
Spot on.
Every single one.
I've been getting into a little bit of a sweater phase myself, so.
Oh, sweaters are awesome.
Yeah,
you can look formal without having to wear a collar. It's great.
My work is cool with me just wearing sweaters. So I, like in the summer, obviously I'll put on like a polo or like a little button down. But right now, dude, I got like 6 different sweaters. Got like one of those fisherman sweaters. It's fucking dope. I draw a lot of inspiration.
We'll have to exchange sweaters.
You will absolutely not get any of my sweaters.
No, I'm gonna buy you a new sweater for Christmas.
Oh, thank you.
Scott, I am so embarrassed I have secondhand embarrassment for Scott in that classroom.
Yeah,
when he's at career day, like Charlie's going on like, my dad's Santa Claus, and everyone's like, all right, bro. And Scott's just standing there like, these kids think I'm an idiot.
Yeah, no, he keeps trying to explain like, no, I'm like Santa because like I work at a company that makes toys. And Charlie's like, no, you idiot. You're actually Santa.
I think he would just wanted to say, no, you're an idiot.
No, you're the idiot. You believe in Santa Claus. Just ruin it for everyone.
Yeah.
But, like, I mean, if Charlie's still at the age where he's going to try and convince everyone that his dad is Santa Claus, and, like, emphatically so without seeing the ramifications of that, let the kid believe in Santa Claus. Like, who cares? He's a kid.
There are worse things to believe in.
Yeah, right.
Like love.
You could believe in crack hookers and cocaine and like, whatever.
What does that entail, believing in it? Like, those things
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I swear by them.
This is my philosophy.
I live by the 3 tenets of life: crack, hookers, and what was the last thing you said?
Cocaine.
What do you think?
The 2 tenets. The 2 tenets.
That one just splits off into pillars. It's crack and cocaine, and then over here we got hookers.
This is something else, man.
That's
we are
my whole
on
Trinity.
We are on fire today. Well,
yeah. All right.
Dude, holy shit! Those guys are so mean at that board meeting when he walks in.
Yeah, That's
they don't even say hi.
Fat and late. They're like, oh my god, dude.
They're like, dude, what happened? You look terrible. It's like, Jesus.
Yeah. You could have some, like, I don't know what the word is. I regret starting
decency?
Yeah,
dignity?
Decency. It's just like, okay, I see you look fat. I'm not going to say it, though.
Yeah. No, literally, they walked in and he's like, Scott, you look terrible.
Yeah.
He's like, wow, thanks, guys.
Oh, he also showed up to a board meeting in a sweatsuit.
He did show up to a meeting in a sweatsuit.
You're kind of asking for it at that point.
But we did have the amazing Peter Boyle here in this, in another connection to the great TV show Everybody Loves Raymond, as Mr. Whittle. And Peter Boyle, famously the father or the grandfather, technically, in Everybody Loves Raymond. Great show. And last week we had what's her face from Everybody Loves Raymond.
Oh, the aunt, or not the aunt, the someone's mom,
the grandmother. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So that was a pretty cool. We got a running connection with Everybody Loves Raymond here, apparently.
Yeah, we got a big ass spider web of connecting movies and shows.
It's like that the scenes in detective movies where they just have the pictures and the string, and we're just sitting there like this guy was in here with this guy, and we're reviewing this movie. It's like great.
It's like the scene in It's Always Sunny. Charlie just losing his mind. Yeah.
I've never seen It's Always Sunny, and I know that meme.
It's a good one.
So first off, he ordered when they're ordering lunch, he orders all those sweets and also starts off with a salad, and then eats all the sweets and does not touch the salad. Did you notice that?
I didn't notice that. I know that he was through.
They didn't show it specifically, but on the table, like when they did the wide shot of him eating, the salad's just there untouched, and all the sweets are gone. And I know that they used this scene to like show how much he's like turning into Santa Claus, but the dude's really actually got a point when it comes to like the Santa Claus and the tank.
Mm-hmm.
Like working in marketing, that is an awful idea. It's like we just got Santa on a tank. He's just riding around in a tank. Mm-hmm. It's like that's a nightmare right there. Like you don't want any part of that.
You don't want a G.I. Joe Barbie?
Yep. All right. Let's move on.
All right. So Scott goes to the doctor to try to figure out what's been going on because he's gained even more weight and he's grown a lot more facial hair. But doctor doesn't really give him anything useful. So he goes to Charlie's soccer game. At this point, he is looking like peak Santa, white hair, white beard, fat shit.
God.
Sorry. So then kids start going up to him because they think he's Santa and start telling him what he wants. So, Laura and Neil, they see what's happening and they take Charlie away because it is hard to take a man serious when he looks like Santa.
Yep.
So that last Christmas, Bernardo had told him, like, expect, like, the naughty and nice list to come. You'll know what to do with it. And at this point, it finally came. It's a huge list. And it basically fills his entire downstairs. But Laura and Neil, we're not happy seeing Scott look like that after everything that they were dealing with Charlie about. So they discussed taking full custody of Charlie. Great for a kids movie. While Scott is slowly starting to embrace being Santa for real. So they do go to a custody hearing where Neil and Laura open up to why they stopped believing in Santa. Pretty much they're just little spoiled kids where they asked for certain things that they didn't get, and they're like, oh, that must mean there's no Santa. Yeah, womp womp.
Wow.
The judge grants Laura and Neil's wishes, though, and Scott loses visitation rights. And Charlie is really upset about it because, again, he loves Santa Claus.
Yeah, I don't even feel like he likes his dad. He just likes that his dad is Santa.
Pretty much, yeah. He's ready to kill him and take the mantle, as Charlie said, or I think it was Charles.
Yeah. Do Laura and Neil really think that he's doing all of this to get Charlie's attention? Like,
Neil is
there
a
was
psychologist.
there was nothing to set that off, though. Like, they had, yeah, sure, they didn't have the greatest Christmas together, but I can guarantee there have been a few Christmases before this that had not been so great with him. And Scott was just carrying on as usual, so it's like,
Yeah, really
there's no way he would have done this for attention.
Really feels like they were making a mountain out of a molehill. Yeah. Like, okay.
But that plays into into part of the movie. Like, that's Neil is that guy that makes a mountain out of a molehill for everything.
That's what
'Cause
psychologists
he's the
do.
quote unquote psychologist. Yeah,
He's a doctor.
Oh, he's the doctor, Dr. Miller. And this is where I wrote in my notes too. It's this movie is not a stereotypical Christmas movie. It's literally a movie about a man turning into Santa, but has very little North Pole, very little Christmas in it. It's literally a man who loses custody of his child and is also Santa Claus.
Yeah, this is what I was saying. Like, this is such a wild Christmas movie because there's more to come. But so far, we have divorced parents, something every kid loves. Murder, also pretty high on that list, probably like number 3 after hookers.
And crack.
That's 5. And then custody battles.
Yep.
Whatever kid wishes for on Christmas.
So, I like the fact that Neil stopped believing in Santa Claus because he didn't get an Oscar Mayer Wiener whistle.
When he was 3.
That is the dumbest present anyone. Like, I'm sorry, Neil, you're an idiot.
Yeah. Also, you ever notice how Neil kind of just talks like he's on NPR?
Hello, yes. Charlie, you are having delusions, and we need to figure this issue out right now.
Yeah, like the way he talks, it's odd.
It is odd.
Goes with the sweaters, I guess.
Yeah. But it does get strangely sad at this point. Like, unnecessarily sad with the whole custody thing.
Yeah. I don't think they needed
like
to
Jesus.
go there, but they
All
did.
right. Let's keep going.
Well, actually, I just want one last thing. So when he goes to the doctor, his heart, I forget what song it's like. His heartbeat is like to the tune of. Like
it's Jingle Bells.
I thought it was Jingle Bells. What doctor is going to hear that and then not admit this man into like open heart surgery?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, sir, you have a irregular heartbeat. We need to do all of these tests.
And not only is it irregular, it sounds like freaking Jingle Bells.
Hey, man, you're starting to look like Santa now. If I cut open your skin, are you just going to bleed like milk?
Ew. It's like an alien.
Yeah. That was a
Robot's an alien.
Moving on. Okay, so
moving on.
He was getting there. Relax.
Calm down, sir.
I could see you frantically looking for your place in your notes. Just like, where am I?
Well, because I was scrolling up to the past things that we talked about, if I had any thoughts on it, so now I had to scroll down to a new page. So now that Scott doesn't have any custody, visitation rights, whatever, he just wants to go say goodbye to Charlie one last time. But then Bernard shows up, and they actually kidnap Charlie and go to the North Pole. Laura and Neil get the police involved, obviously, because their child was abducted. While Scott is now fully embracing being Santa Claus at the North Pole. They're getting all their stuff ready for this year's ride. So, like, up at the North Pole, they're, like, talking about, like, a new suit that he has, some modifications to the sleigh. While this is happening, the police are getting a briefing on the abduction. They're attacking just normal, regular Santas on the street. But Scott and Charlie, they go off to deliver presents. A little montage of that. But they go back to Charlie's house where the police are waiting, and Scott gets captured. So the elves... So the elves deploy the Effective Liberating Flight Squad. I thought this said Fight Squad. Or elves. Or ELFS. To free Santa. While Santa is getting interrogated in a very noir-esque sequence. Elves break Santa out of jail, and Santa returns Charlie to his mom and stepdad. He convinces Charlie to stay at home, and finally Laura and Neil believe him that he is Santa Claus. So Laura burns the custody papers so that he can see Charlie whenever. Bernard appears again, and he says that a snow globe that he had given him at their first visit to the North Pole, that if he shakes that snow globe, Scott can come back from the North Pole and see Charlie at any time. So with the police coming back to their house, Scott takes off on a sleigh to finish delivering presents and head back to the North Pole. But as he's going, he gives Laura and Neil the gifts they never got as kids. So this movie ends with Charlie shaking the globe almost immediately after he leaves.
Literally.
So it ends with Scott coming back and taking Charlie on one last sleigh ride together.
Yay!
Happy ending.
So we think. Anyway.
That sequence, the ZZ Top sequence montage, is amazing and so unnecessary.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it was just so good. And then they actually went through with abducting a child.
Yeah, they kidnapped a kid.
They're like, oh, this is the choice that we want to make for our Christmas movie.
Yeah, they were like, okay, how can we top this? What is the cherry on top of this little shit sundae we have brewed for ourselves? We're going to have an abduction.
Yep. And then the entire police force shows up at the house again. The second movie in a row where we've had a massive police presence at the end of the movie.
Yeah, I said in my notes, they would have swarmed him like they did in National Lampoon, like guns out.
Yeah.
Like they would have tackled him to the ground.
Oh, yeah.
But this is a bit more family friendly, so they were just holding him up with flashlights.
It does actually it is actually pretty heartwarming to see that like Scott and Charlie are actually starting to bond throughout the movie. Like, even though it is a lot motivated by the fact that Scott's now Santa Claus, but like also they do form like a father-son bond that they clearly didn't have beforehand. And I thought that was a nice little touch on that.
I agree.
I did like the head member of the elves, the ELFS, like that kid, dude ran away with his little role. Like he showed up and he's like, "Don't worry, we're the good guys." I was like, dude,
we're the good guys. It's like, hey man, are you trying to like seduce this kid? Like, take it easy.
It's like he really was like, I got a role, I'm going in.
I'm laying on the charm here.
Yeah, it was too. He was like fully trying to seduce Charlie.
And then when like they're breaking Scott out of jail and they're talking to that cop, he's like, "We're your worst nightmare. Elves with attitude."
Jesus Christ.
Also, speaking of the elves, how many times do you think that they have been deployed before?
Oh, a ton. Absolute ton.
Yeah, they look like they knew what they were doing.
They're like, Santa's in trouble again. All right, let's go get him.
Santa fucked up again. Like, he just has like a little...
Just let us deliver the presents. We get him out of trouble all the time.
Yeah, they just have like a little militia group ready to break a felon out of jail, essentially.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, Santa. You can't be going into that girl's room.
Oh, God.
I know.
Connor.
I went too dark. I'm sorry.
Connor, Jesus Christ. Do you think... All right. So, all right. Just made me think of something. Okay. So, in this movie, the universe of this movie, if you kill Santa Claus, you become Santa Claus. You have to put on a suit, but in essence, you become Santa Claus. How many bad Santa Clauses do you think they've had? Where it's like, oh, this guy is a pedophile. Like, oh, this guy actually murders people.
I'm surprised there's not a lot more people wanting to be Santa Claus and trying to go kill the Santa Claus.
Yeah.
I guess a lot of people don't know that, though. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I definitely imagine that the last Santa was probably an asshole if no one cared that he died.
Not a person was like, oh, this is sad. Where's old Santa?
They're like, huh, that's a different guy. All right. Go on with my day.
Yeah, so the one issue I had with this movie is it did have a tough time ending. It had like 6 endings. It wasn't Lord of the Rings Return of the King bad, but it was like, okay, he's flying off now. Now it's ending. Nope. All right, he's delivering the presents one last. Now it's ending. Oh no, he's got to come back. Now it's ending. It's like, just end the movie.
Yeah. I also have gripes with the cops in these movies. How when the elves first take Charlie to the prison, they like fly by a cop. How is that dude not radioing in that he just saw flying fucking kids? Like, hey, Jim, you will not believe what I just saw. And then the one cop who's at the station, he's like, oh, wait, you're the kid that's missing. Let me go call the sheriff and tell him we found you.
Yeah, right. Like, also, if he was just on the roof, how would they not have seen him?
Yeah.
Because he was just sitting on the roof. Anyways, I'm poking too many holes in this movie.
It doesn't fare well if you really start to examine it.
Yeah, but that's most Christmas movies, to be honest. All right. Well, are we at the end here?
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna play us out.
I do wish we could chat longer, but I'm having an old friend for dinner.
All right, it's time to give our ratings. Connor, you want to kick us off?
Sure. So, despite me sounding uber critical of this movie, I actually gave it a 3.5 stars.
Oh.
I think it is nuts. It's wild. It is, especially for like a family movie. But I think that just makes it funnier looking back at it now that I am like 23 and I got this new mature lens. Yeah, 3.5 stars.
All right. Sam?
All right. This movie's
welcome to NPR.
All right. So this movie, So this movie is a classic, obviously. Great family Christmas movie. I think I couldn't really get past the animation. That was a little too much for me. And I think honestly, this is once a season watch for me. I gave this movie a 3 out of 5.
All right. And for me, like, this is obviously a Christmas classic. Will I watch it all year round? No. I don't know any Christmas movie that I would watch all year round. Is it Citizen Kane? No, it's not. But it's fun. It's enjoyable. There are some actual laugh out loud moments. There's some crazy moments, and it's overall like super easy to watch and fun, and I can put it on any time during the Christmas season. So with that said, I'm going to give it a 3 points.
Oh, no.
Don't.
3.82. All right.
Are you serious?
3.82. Yep.
You're doing this to fuck with me, and I do not appreciate it.
3.82. So that brings our average to a nice solid 3.44, which if we put that in our rankings, that puts us at number 6, right above Tommy Boy and right below Fast Times at Ridgemont High, which I think is pretty accurate.
We see which Judge Reinhold reigns supreme.
I know, and it's close too. Like 3.5 for Fast Times, 3.44 for the Santa Claus.
10 Things That I Hate About You is right above that. So we also have our superior
David Krumholtz. Wow, look at that. We are just killing it on the
not staged,
ratings
by the way.
here.
Not staged.
No, we did not stage that.
Yeah, if Aaron was going to give it a 3.82, if I had known that, I would not have shown up today.
I never tell you what I'm going to do. I always keep it a surprise.
Yeah, because you know it's going to piss me off.
All right, so we have officially one more episode coming out this year, which means it's our fight night. So there's no wheel spinning this time around, but we're going to be talking about some Christmas movies, obviously, and comparing them with each other. And so that means that we are at the end of the episode. So if you like this episode, please leave us a rating, give us a follow, do all that fun stuff. It really helps us out. We appreciate it a lot. Follow us on Twitter and all our socials. It's usually you can find it at the Filmbox Pod, Filmbox Podcast, anything like that. I want to thank Scott Holmes Music for our awesome Christmas intro, Christmas theme. You can also check out our new website, filmboxpod.com. We got reviews. We just had one go up recently for Guillermo del Toro's. Wow, I butchered his name. Guillermo del Toro, Pinocchio. And finally, we have merch, and you can check out our Letterboxd profiles. All our links are in the description. And with that said, this has been another episode of the Filmbox Podcast, and we will see you next time. Today's a great day to start your own podcast. Whether you're looking for a new marketing channel, have a message you want to share with the world, or just think it'd be fun to have your own talk show, podcasting is an easy, inexpensive, and fun way to expand your reach online. Buzzsprout is hands down the easiest way and the best way to launch, promote, and track your podcasts. Your shows can be online and listed in all the major podcast directories like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and even more within minutes of finishing your recording. Podcasting isn't hard when you have the right partners, and the team at Buzzsprout is passionate about helping you succeed. Join over 100,000 podcasters already using Buzzsprout to get their message out to the world. Let's create something great together.
Following the link in the show notes lets Buzzsprout know we sent you, as well as getting you a $20 Amazon gift card if you sign up for a paid plan, and it helps support our show.
We use Buzzsprout, and honestly, it's really great. I use it to track all of our where we're being listed. We get our own website. It's really just a fantastic service, and I would recommend it to anyone that's interested in starting a podcast.
Buzzsprout helps you get your show listed on every major podcast platform. That takes one of the hardest steps in creating a podcast out of the equation for you, thanks to Buzzsprout's help.
And if you want to upgrade, Buzzsprout has tons of guides to help you find the right equipment at the right price. Plus, it helps you navigate how to do things, how to market your show, how to make money off your show, how to do all sorts of stuff. It's all right there for you to use. Honestly, it's not hard when you have the right partners, and Buzzsprout is absolutely one of the best partners you can have out there.
They care about you. They're passionate about helping you succeed with your show.
So if you're interested in signing up for Buzzsprout, use the link in the description of the show here. Like we said, it'll get you a $20 Amazon gift card. And it supports us, and we appreciate it greatly. And now, back to the show.
Ooh.